Hello, my friends. It's been a while. It's one take early morning, Monday. I'm here with Bad Dog, and I wanted to tell you all about what I've been reading. I have to start though with the fact that it is August, deep summer. I love it. And one of my favorite books, which I talk to you guys about all the time, is Sing a Song of Seasons, a nature poem for each day of the year. Technically, it's for little ones, but I read it almost every day. And this one is about lake houses. And I know some of you have one or are there or are visiting with one. And so every day you get a chance to read a beautiful poem, and really the illustrations do it in this book. This is August 3rd, actually, a lake isle of Innisfree. I will arise and go now and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin built there of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray, I hear it in the deep heart's core. I know so many of you feel that way about your place, and I hope you're enjoying it now. But this is for you. This is for all of us. I want to tell you what I've been reading right now, because boy, have I been on a tear. Speaking of summer, Donald Hall, if you don't know him, poet and essayist, this is just a lovely book, readable any time of year, but it's Recollections of Summers on a New England Farm. So it starts when he's 14 in 1943. He died only recently, actually. And it's just stories of growing up on his grandfather's farm and simple life. But he is such a great writer, of course, that he makes all things transcendent. And Richard Ford, I look a lot to who liked a book. And if they like too many books, I kind of eschew, their opinion. But Richard Ford wrote about the New Hampshire farm sketches in here. And you can read what he says, but I wanted to read to you the epitaph, which I think is so lovely. It says, a man was cleaning the attic of an old house in New England. He found a box, which was full of tiny pieces of string. On the lid of the box, there was an inscription in an old hand, string too short to be saved, which is just perfect, universal. So gosh, come get this one. Also preparing for Food War, which is a memoir series. I love memoirs. They really are people who can write very, very well about a life that is hopefully different enough from your own and yet relatable. And so our Food War is, in about 14 days. And Gabrielle Hamilton is the rather famous New York owner of Prune restaurant that's been award-winning, tiny 8 or 9 table place in Queens, I think it is. And this is her memoir about her life, which is fascinating as a young person, but also how she became a chef. Her voice is the most unusual and vivid that I've read in a long time. One of my favorite books of all time, and yet the ugliest cover and kind of alarming title, Trust Me. I'll be cooking, we'll be discussing this, but if you can't finish it, come anyway. In Food War, I cook from the cookbooks that made the writer famous. And this is her restaurant, Prune, and I thought it would be really fun to make sort of a farmer's market salad. And to show you this recipe, I'll be making it and bringing it and a couple others. But also, this book and her book is great for somebody who is interested in cooking, yes, and great writing, but also what it's like, curious, what it's like to have a restaurant. And so all of her notes are on how to multiply the recipe if you're serving, say 16 people, heavens. And then notes to herself and her staff on the recipes, which are so fun to read, and I'm so glad I don't do this. Really, really fabulous. And next up is, this is the advanced copy of the Tucci memoir. So many of us watched him this summer in his cooking show in Italy, and this is my favorite cookbook. Gosh, it's in my top 3, and I'll be cooking from that. Okay, so sign up for those. That one is in, I think November. But mostly what I've been doing is reading fiction, and I'm telling you, this one ate my weekend. I had heard of her, but this is my first, I think this is her 14th. It's about a marriage. And one of the other things, as I mentioned, that I look for is a writer that I love and really respect and doesn't write much in terms of getting into the book game and book review game. Anne Hood, if you don't know her, let's talk. Rich and complex, beautiful and heartbreaking, just like life. This one, you guys. Story of a marriage. And I would go on, but just come in, get it. I think it's my book of the year. Secrets of Happiness, also new to me, but famous, Joan Silber. So many people love her. And the reason I love this book is that it gives you lots to think about. It is fiction, but it doesn't tell you what to think. And so many times, books that I read now are cramming in people and situations, even countries around the globe, situations on the planet that we all need to be aware of. And she touches on some of that, but it's really about people and what happiness is all about. And guess what? Money comes up a lot, and that's not it. Another summer book, if you read and loved Meet Me at the Museum like I did, Anne Youngson, this is absolutely wonderful. It's the story of 3 friends. I think they're about my age. I'm 55. And a narrow boat is a very narrow boat that can travel the canals of England. And 3 women who don't know each other end up doing that for a reason. The narrow boat owner needs friends. And so this is absolutely wonderful tale. Again, amazing reviews for Anne Youngson. This one comes out tomorrow. Loved it. It's a story of an Irish family. The youngest, Sunday, the only girl in the family, tried it in California, but ends up coming home to the family home where everyone still is, and they still own the pub. And it's a story of what's really going on at home and what's really going on with her. One of those thumping good reads. Always, I have a Rosamund Pilcher going, and this one is for right now. If you haven't read it, start. September is about a big party in September that brings people together of a family and of a town, a small town in Scotland. And so it takes place in the summer in preparing and getting to know everyone who will be attending this party and why it's an important one. She's so many things I would want to be if I wrote. And then there's always people who are chasing after her. Last Garden in England is one that comes up a lot if you're searching for the next Rosamund, because she passed away, I think, in the 90s, our Rosamund. And this one is about a garden, a home, sort of a newly wealthy home was built in 1907. The master gardener who created it and 2 more women who touch on the garden over the next 100 years. Yes, but wait no longer if you're a Rosamund person, because this is brand new. It's a collection never before in a book about her, of her short stories, and one of them is A Place Like Home. Can't wait now that I've finished Count the Ways, my book of the summer. This is next. And this is my next nonfiction. Absolutely love it. A person who knows a lot about nature becomes even deeply immersed after she finishes her PhD. And it's getting absolute raves. So you guys, I put that up because Emma and I watched a show called The Miniaturist on PBS. It's a masterpiece, meaning it's that series that they really invest in. It's absolutely gorgeous. The Miniaturist is a book, right, Bad Dog? And the series is 3 parts, 3 hours total, about an Amsterdam home and a family, and that is, I'm kind of into the Netherlands and Flemish art. And I had this book out looking at Emma, to me, talking about how perfectly the cinematography evoked the great painters of that era. And so this makes me think you guys watch it, read it. See you soon.